All right, guys, welcome back. This is going to be part 46 of Dinosaurs and Man. And if you'll notice, I got a different background than what you've been normally seeing. We are at Tanglewood Campground in Clemens, North Carolina. Sandra is just to the left of me. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, you see your hand? And but we got both of our dogs with us also, and so we have decided to go on a little annual trip. And so, for those of you that are not aware, Sandra and I we do a lot of motorhome trips, and so if we actually have a YouTube channel just for that, it's called Journey Through and See. Excuse me. Journey Through and See. And what we're doing is we're trying to stay in all 100 counties in North Carolina. And we've got how many done so far? About 43, maybe? I want to say it
Yeah,
could be around
43.
43,
Yeah, 43.
about 43 of them. And it's quite an adventure, guys. And what we do is on that channel, we post all of our things that we see, campground reviews, fun facts about the counties, ghost stories, urban legends. And sometimes if we take day trips without the motorhome, we'll post them on there too. So anything that's just interesting about North Carolina. And so, but at any rate, I've decided to bring my equipment with us. And so if you'll notice on the screen, this right here is what I use to record my videos. And so I do have a Rode mic that I'll use on my screen recordings. But guys, in the day and age that we live in, with the modern technology that we have, I tell you what, evangelism has never been so easy. And so you give me my computer, my smartphone, and some good lighting, and I'm going to put together a good video. And so all my stuff is, at least most of it, that is on my computer. And then I have some show and tell stuff. And so I thought, we're going to be gone for so long. I think I'm going to bring my computer with me and record some videos. And so, but lastly, we were together. We were talking about Marco Polo, and this unusual animal that he saw. Well, I want to go back to that for a minute and go in a little bit more detail on his description. If you'll notice on the screen here, just the highlights, the measurements was 10 paces in length and 10 spans in the girt of the body. Now, the paces, the length was 25 feet long, and the span I said was 7 feet wide. Now, what I did, guys, and I should have shared this before, is I went ahead and added it to the presentation. Now, I went into some really old dictionaries. I got an 1873 dictionary and I got a 1935 dictionary, and I wanted to find out what were they meaning by that word girt. Actually, the word girt is possibly used as more of girth, They very well could be talking about girth here. If that is what they were meaning, then that shortens up the width of this animal about half. So 7 feet wide is extremely impressive. And I just want to make sure I'm giving the right type of information on here. But when you talk about girth, you're talking about the total surrounding, to surround something like the waist or something like that. And so what I did is, if you'll notice on the screen, I wanted something as a visual for you guys to look at. This trash can here is, of course, is what we use to put our trash in for the guys to pick it up. Around the body of this thing, the actual the midsection of this thing is almost 7 feet. It's like 7 feet 2.5 inches. 7 feet 2.5 inches. So if they were meaning the girt, the actual girt or girth of the body of this animal would have a body that's about as big as round as the midsection of this trash can. And you can see my Honda Fit over there to the right, as for scale. And so still a decent sized animal, because Marco Polo did state that this animal looked like it could swallow a man easily. And so there would be no problem if you look at the body of this thing. You could easily, if that was hollow right there, I could easily crawl inside that. And so, still an impressive size animal, but I just wanted to kind of clarify that word girt, and dependent on the usage, that would definitely change the width of that the body from being anywhere from the size of this trash can. If you're just going from one side to another, maybe the diameter of it being anywhere between 3.5 feet plus to somewhere around 7 feet wide. And so, but at any rate, now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this gentleman here called Ulysses Aldrovandus. 1522 to 1605. He had degrees in medicine and philosophy. In 1561, he became the first professor of natural sciences at Bologna, Italy. He created the Natural History Museum. He assembled one of the most spectacular collection of curiosities with some 7,000 specimens of botany and zoology, and is considered to be the father of natural history. This is what he relays about this creature. The dragon was first seen on May 13th, 1572, hissing like a snake. He had been hiding on the small estate of Master Petronius near Docius in a place called, I'm going to try this, Malinota. At 5 p.m., he was caught on a public highway by a herdsman named Baptista of, I'm going to try this, Camaldolus, near the hedge on a private farm, a mile from the remote city outskirts of Bologna. Baptista was following his ox cart home when he noticed the oxen suddenly come to a stop. He kicked them, which was the oxen, and shouted at them, but they refused to move and went down on their knees rather than move forward. At this point, the herdsman noticed a hissing sound and was startled to see this strange little dragon ahead of him. Trembling, he struck it on the head with his rod and killed it. Aldrovandus identified it as a reptile, the first of this type that he had seen. The strange creature seemed to be completely harmless. Aldrovandus surmised the dragon was a juvenile, judging by the incompletely developed claws and teeth. The corpse, listen to this, guys. I want you to notice this. This is what we're going to really take note of this. The corpse had only 2 feet. It moved both by slithering like a snake and by using its feet. Aldrovandus mounted the specimen and displayed it for some time. He also had a watercolor painting of the creature he made. And this right here is that picture. So if you'll notice, big body, 2 small legs in the front, kind of a snake. It kind of withers out like a snake, a long neck and a head. Now, I want you to really take note of this body here because we talked about this Roman mosaic. And if you notice, it's 2 long-necked creatures, but notice they only have two legs or flippers in the front, and then the body kind of goes out into like a snake-like appearance. It resembles a whole lot like this one here. You notice I'm going back to the one that Aldrovandus has, and then going back to this one here. They both look very similar together, though this one here shows that like almost flippers. The body style is extremely, they look the same. They really do look the same. And here's a close-up of it here. And so I thought it was very interesting. Now that was the one. Let's go back to Aldrovandus. Now here's the one at the Roman mosaic. And this is out Gloucestershire, England. Now let's check out the one that Marco Polo saw. He says at the forepart, near the head, they have two short legs having three claws. Now, if you'll go back to the one Aldrovandus has, it looks like that they're showing 1, 2, 3, 4 claws. I don't know if it's just, if they were being really, it's hard for me to believe that they wouldn't be as detailed as possible, but they're showing 4 claws. It's only 1 claw short, but the one that Marco Polo said, he said that they had 2 short legs having 3 claws. So it's really interesting, guys, that these 3 animals from 3 different locations, you got Paris, France, you got Bologna, Italy, and then you got that area in Yunnan, China, by Marco Polo. You got all these 3 areas, which is somewhat in the same general area of the globe, all having the same general appearance of this animal. And so, could this, I personally, I think it's a little bit more than coincidence, and that this right here definitely, especially the one with Aldrovandus and the one with Marco Polo, these were actual live animals that were seen. It's a shame that they don't have this specimen still in some museum somewhere. I would really like to see it. But guys, we're going to stop right there. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Again, we're inside our motorhome called the Squatch, and we are taking an annual trip. And so if you want to see more of our travels, please go to the Journey Through NC. That's the Journey Through NC. You'll see a picture of that come up on the screen, and you can follow some of our adventures. And then, of course, this channel here, the Journey in Between, is specifically for the creation stuff and biblical type things and stuff like that. And so I got a lot of things I'm interested into and I've always believed you got one life, make the best out of it. And so, but you guys take care. I love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.